What's up, YouTube? I want to do a video on proper handgun grip. Basically what I see, I'm a NRA instructor, a certified RO, and I teach some introductory classes to handguns. And what I see a lot of, the main mistake with beginners is they don't know how is a proper grip on a handgun. And that's where everything should start. If you get a proper grip, and a halfway decent stance, you're halfway there. Then comes proper trigger squeeze, side alignment, all those other things come into play. But without a proper grip, you're not managing the gun well. You're not kind of running the gun. The gun's kind of running you. It'll induce malfunctions. I see that a lot, especially like Glock 17s, kind of bigger slide, 9mm, anything light with a smaller caliber. What they call limp wristing, basically if you're letting the gun move too much in your hand, what it does is it's not getting the enough energy transferred to the slide to make a full extraction and then pick up the new cartridge and come in. If it starts to go back and you're letting the gun go back, part of the energy is absorbed in your hand moving, and basically the slide don't get to transfer all that energy back into the spring and then back forward like it needs to complete the cycle process. So basically what I teach and how I shoot is what they call like a thumbs forward grip, and I'll show you how it works on multiple guns. Basically it doesn't really matter the gun, how big it is. A lot of people pick up a gun, oh, this thing's huge, like a Glock 21, and a Glock 21 is a big gun. But if you use this grip, it really doesn't matter if you're shooting a small gun, big gun, whatever, because basically what you're doing is filling the void in your hand. I should film it this way. Filling the void in your hand here with your other hand. So basically the easiest way I teach students to do it is basically you're going to extend your hand almost like a handshake but at 45 degrees, and you're going to point your thumb at basically what would be the target. So basically if I'm shooting this way, this is how I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to cross the muzzle obviously with my hand or whatever, but you're going to come out and meet this hand, you're going to curl this around, and you're going to get high, as high up on the back strap as possible with this hand. And on a 1911, how I shoot and how I try to teach people to shoot is basically your thumb always stays up on a 1911 or external safety gun, that has a big safety that you can ride. Obviously it won't work with like a shield, Smith & Wesson shield or something like that with a small lever. So what that does too is on your presentation, your draw stroke, you never forget to take the safety off, because what we see is when we're in like IDPA type classes or whatever, you get the guy who has an external safety gun, and it may be not his carry gun, but his game gun or whatever you want to say, and generally somebody there at one stage or another will pull their gun out, click, nothing happens, or basically squeeze the trigger, nothing happens. Oh, I forgot the safety, and then turns it off and then continues their string. So if you present, basically come out of the holster or whatever, or your grip is always on top, basically once these hands come together and you push out, it's natural. Like I said, once you push out, your thumb's naturally going to point towards the target, which is going to then turn the safety off. So if you run that grip on an external safety gun like that, you never will run into the off chance that you forget to turn the safety off. So if you ran it this way, and then you had to come up and make it a whole separate movement, turn it off, and then come back to establish what your grip is underneath it, then it's possible to forget that, because it's a whole separate action. And you try to basically dumb down a grip or dumb down an action, as best you can, to get it to be just a kind of a crude, like not a fine set of motor skills, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because you just want to be crude, especially when you start teaching defensive scenarios, defensive draws, stuff like that. You want to have the least amount of thought process. It should all just be the fundamentals. It should just be ingrained in you, and you shouldn't have to think, because at that point when your adrenaline's pumping and stuff, you're not going to think correctly anyway. So basically, like I said, if you grip it, you're pointing at the target, you wrap around, you come in. Now what happens is the meat of my thumb here fills this void in that grip. So now I have basically a 360 degree grip around this gun. So if my thumb's up to the shooting position, I push out and I'm ready to fire, as I push out, safety's off, bang, 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 I do my string, I come back, you know, and at the high ready or, you know, whatever you're doing. But that gives you the most amount of muzzle flip control, because basically, like I said, my web of my thumb is all the way up, as high as I can get it up on the beaver tail, and I have control of this gun. So if you can watch like shooting footage from someone who has control of it, this gun's barely going to move up as the slide actuates back. If someone who doesn't, if you got a lower grip, you can do what they call like the teacup, whatever down here. Well, this gun is just going to kind of own your wrist and stuff when it goes off. So what's going to happen, it's going to go bang. This is going to absorb, you know, some of the recoil. It's going to come back, you know, cause a stovepipe where it won't, basically it's not running fast enough when it hits the ejector to kick that shell out like it should, come back and pick up a fresh round. So if you're getting malfunctions, you know, with basically empty brass kind of hanging out of that gun like this, or, you know, if it didn't just chamber all the way, it's got a fresh round, but it needs to just be kind of bumped to get it going, I would look at your grip, or, you know, have someone else either film you, you know, or from the side, have somebody else shoot it, whatever, before you'd say, oh, it's a gun problem, it's a ammunition problem or whatever. And lower powered ammunition will be more susceptible to that, as well as heavier slide guns with smaller calibers will also be a factor in that. So basically, like I said, what I want to teach and what I want to show you, you know, you index your finger, and forgive me, I'm filthy, I was out doing Cerakote and running my sandblaster, and I just came in while my stuff's in the oven to do this video. Basically, you know, you always want to index your finger outside the trigger guard when you're, you know, initially handling your gun until you're ready to fire. Come in, you grip your gun, you fill that void. Both thumbs now are pointing forward. Once safety's off and you're pointed in, you're going to lock your wrists out, basically, and your elbows. I shoot in what they call an isosceles stance or whatever, so both my feet are level, parallel, and my body's square to the target. To me, that's the best way I shoot. There is other ways. There's Weaver, modified Weaver, and they all work. It's just what you train on. I like this because it's more natural for me. I can come up and shoot that shot or whatever. Even, you know, I'm a sight shooter, or try to be. At least, you know, when you come up and you do a draw at 3 yards or something, sometimes I shoot that shot and I thought, man, I never did see my sights. But, you know, I'm usually on target, because if I'm squared away, everything's squared, it's going to go, that bolt's going to go in front of me, you know, pretty predictably where it's going to go, you know, within probably a pie plate at 5 yards. You know, even if I don't happen to pick up the sights, which it's a bad habit on my part. You know, you should always pick up that front sight just before you squeeze the trigger. But basically, you're like this. So this is a pretty slender gun as far as the 1911 goes. So I was going to show you the difference basically of the same, that grip on different size guns and how it doesn't matter. So if you step over to, say, a Glock 19, it's the same thing. You know, your fingers indexed, you come in, you make that thumb, both your thumbs are pointing forward, and basically when both your thumbs are pointing forward to the target, what that does, it just naturally points the gun that way, because you're basically pointing at the gun, or pointing at the target, and then now you're just taking that fine adjustment with the sights. So fine adjustment, find your front sight, squeeze, bang. It's going to go off, you're going to hold it nice and still, it's going to recoil, do its cycle like it should, eject that round, pick up the next clean one, then bang, bang, bang until the slide locks back. But this grip, like I said, for me, it works the best. And especially on like a Glock, it clears, you know, with your thumb, you're kind of indexed on this knuckle. I kind of use that as an index on a Glock. And basically what that does is it pulls this thumb, my firing hand thumb, kind of away from the frame, so you don't have a tendency to want to ride the slide release. Me with SIGs, I've owned SIGs in back. In fact, I got a couple or whatever, but I have a heck of a time not holding that down while I'm shooting. They just come back so far. The slide stop comes back so far that I just naturally tendency to have pressure on that with my thumb. So I'll finish my string, bang, 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 click, and the slide didn't lock back because my thumb was basically resting against it. And that's a training issue. It's not a problem with the gun. It's me riding it down. So, you know, there's a difference when it's shooter induced and when the gun's actually doing it, and it's all shooter induced, because like I said, I do have a tendency to ride that. But like I said, this gun is obviously a lot thicker than that 1911, and it works the same way. You know, come out, like I said, the easiest way to set it up is you have your gun out, point out with this hand, you know, and don't wave it in front of the muzzle. Point it out with this hand straight across, that your finger's kind of at a 45. Meet your other hand, grips around, they kind of come up at an upward angle. It's not straight, it's kind of an upward angle. And then basically, like I said, the meat of that thumb should fill that void in that grip. And now I got a 360-degree grip on that. And you'll be amazed, like I said, especially if you lock out, your shoulders are square, you lock out, you'll be amazed how much control you have over that gun under recoil. What this does is eventually it'll speed up like your second shot, if you're shooting competition or whatever. Bang, 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 and you'll see your spreads, your split times will go down, and your spreads will start to shrink because you're running that gun. That gun's not running you. It's not going bang, bang. It's going bang, bang. And you'll kind of get, once you start shooting a lot, and I used to shoot a lot of IDPA and stuff like that, you'll get to know kind of your cadence of how fast you got that gun back under control. Bang, bang, back on target. Bang, bang, how fast you can double tap with it. So another example of that, like I said, this is a Glock 21, and this is a big gun. I mean, this is the SF, which is the short frame, so it's a little shorter from here to here than the standard Glock 21. The standard Glock 20 and 21 big frames, they're big. They're even big for my hands. As far as how they feel. They feel like almost like you're gripping a 2x4 or something. These aren't too bad, but same principle. You got establish your good grip high up on the frame as high as you can get it. So you see that web's almost pushing into it. See how you get the little wrinkle there because you're pushing in so hard. So same difference. Your fingers on the outside of the trigger, and you see you got a kind of a bigger gap here because I can't wrap all the way around. Same deal. I come out, point my fingers in, I feel that gap, and now I still have basically a 360-degree connection between my hands on that gun. So I still got control over this gun when it goes off. Bang, bang. And if, like I said, if you lock your wrists out, if you get it flat, what you'll learn is once this is out like this, you're basically locking your wrist. It's out. If you got it kind of cocked this way, that way, whatever, it's an easier spot for that recoil to break. As far as break your wrist, not break your wrist, but break the straightness of your wrist. You don't want it going like this. If you lock everything out, lock your elbows out, you're pushing straight out. This is obviously in an isosceles stance, so if you shoot a different way, it's going to be a little different. Your grip can remain the same, but as far as how you lock everything out. So now, bang, bang, it's got to lift both my arms. So now it's fighting against basically bone to try to do instead of muscle. So if I went like this, all this is muscle control. And I'm in decent shape, but I'm not Hercules. So I would rather have bone locked out as far as the muscle structure goes, as opposed to just trying to muscle my way through it. Why do this when you can do this? Lock everything out, bang, bang, bang. You'll notice the improvement. I mean, right away if you do it right. Another example. Another big gun is a HK USP and 9mm. Same thing. This is another big gun. This one has an external safety, like basically in 1911 it could be carried what they call cocked and locked. So the hammer's back, it's cocked, the safety's up, which is locked. And I shoot this the same way as I do in 1911. Same thing. So you see how much gap I have between here, because like I said, this is a fairly big grip on this gun. It's kind of short actually, but this way, but it's big. So same deal. Your fingers index on the outside of the frame there. Grip same way, point out, come in, wrap it around. You can see my thumbs up high, so I can activate that safety when I come out. Same deal. I got a 360 degree. I'm making contact with both hands all the way around. Gripping it that way, come out. As I come out, the safety's off. Pull the trigger, bang, bang, bang. Shoot my string, and it's going to go bang, 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 bang. And I'm going to have way more control over that than I would if I was like this. T-cup, because what's going to happen is these two hands are going to come apart, or whatever. Even if you keep them together, I can't keep that straight because the only thing keeping that gun from moving this way is my wrist, nothing else. This gun is all it's doing is keep it from dropping down, but it's not going to drop down on recoil. It's going to come up on recoil. So, like I said, give that a try. If you don't shoot thumbs forward, give it a try at your next range visit, just to try it. It feels awkward at first. Feels kind of funky. You're like, they just don't. Usually when I teach new shooters and they've already had some kind of grip they've established, I tell them, hey, just try it. Put 2 or 3 magazines through it that way, and they'll start to feel a little more comfortable about it. And guys will come back and go, hey, it's been I've been shooting that way for 3 or 4 months, man. Thanks, it really helps. helps me shoot, straighter, helps me shoot a little faster. Especially, like I said, you'll really start seeing the benefits when you start coming out with draw strokes. You'll come out, those two hands will meet, push out, and you're going to be on target, like I said, within 5 yards. I usually shoot a demo where I'll come out of the holster, just nice and slow, come out of the holster. I won't ever look at the gun or the target, come out at 5 yards, bang, 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 shoot 5 rounds, and I'm usually, never out of the 9 ring. I mean, it's not bullseye shots, but I've never made a conscious effort to even line the sights up. It's just everything, once you do it, you kind of got that muscle memory. When you push out, everything's squared, so it should just bang, bang. You'll just repeat it. You'll get that repetition, and it'll come to the same spot every time. So it makes it nice. Like I said, you should always shoot with your sights, obviously, but it's just kind of a demo to show, hey, if you do this, everything's right. Now you're screwing it up when you jerk the trigger, you do something like that, whatever. But your fundamentals still have to be right to get good hits. But basically, when you come out, bang, 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 you're gonna know where those shots are gonna go. Like I said, it gets defensive situations and stuff like that. You start seeing more benefits when you're doing stuff like that, and then just range visits, because I know most ranges, at least around here, don't let you draw from a holster and stuff. So not a lot of people get to do a lot of that practice. But anyway, just wanted to cover that. If you don't shoot that way, if you're new to pistols, whatever your next range visit, give it a try. And like I said, it's thumb out your support hand. If you're opposite-handed, this feels real weird to me, but opposite-handed, you're gonna do the same way. You're gonna come around, grip it, left hand, right hand, doesn't matter. Square everything up, square that wrist out, and then have inward pressure, putting that chubby part of your hand, or whatever, the little kind of soft spot in your thumb there, into that void. Thumbs forward, and you're good to go. And that should give you a lot more control. And like I said, just watch, try to watch the recoil, a few rounds, line up your sights, squeeze the trigger, and watch what the gun does. Go back to your old grip and see what it does. So I'm telling you, you have a lot of control under that gun that way. So hope this helps you out, guys. Like I said, I teach a lot of new shooters, and they all tend to benefit from that. It's awkward at first, but once you can get around it, start building muscle memory where it feels comfortable. It's kind of like if you ever golfed, or your first golf swing feels really weird, and then you get your rhythm, and then you can tell when you've messed up. I pulled this that way or that way, whatever. It'll be the same thing. You'll establish that muscle memory, and it'll feel correct. So anyways, guys, just want to put it out there, little tip. Hopefully it helps, and give it a try. Thanks, guys.